Right now I'm downloading my piece of paper and then we're good.
Wait. Did you not write this one?
I did. But I did it on a different computer and then I Google Drived it to my
Did you know
laptop.
that these stone crystals here are absorbing the light energy right now, and they're going to be at full charge come sundown? Right, Austin? You can confirm that.
I hate you.
What's the what type of power does amethyst hold?
Blueberry.
I didn't ask the flavor.
I like that.
It makes everything.
That's both. That is
Yeah.
both the power and the flavor.
It makes everything taste like blueberries.
Oh man.
Just like the magical fruit that makes your taste buds identify sour as sweet, amethyst
actually-
makes you identify everything as
Blueberries. It's like, yep, eat this. It's fucking steak, just like blueberries.
Crunching through some like. How would you
It's
even
just
do
like
that?
charcoal, like actual rocks.
You'd have to like powder it and snort it. You can't actually eat that. That's quartz.
Who says you can't eat it? I don't know if you're
Go
a rock
for it.
expert.
Have you ever
Go for it.
tried?
I don't have the proper tools to eat this.
Yeah,
you
and
didn't-
most animals don't.
All right, boys. Well, now it's time. It's been a long time in the making, but we're going to be talking about duendes.
Ooh.
Welcome
favorite.
back, everybody. This week we're here in honor of our friend and fellow podcaster, Jesse, who has tragically passed away of COVID.
What's going to be real sad is if that happened.
Oh, God, no, that'd be so bad.
Remember,
He's quarantined in his room because his brother's got the vid.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden people are going to be like, I don't know, man, those conspiracy guys, Austin knew something because he called it weeks before.
It's like it was in the know.
Yeah.
Is this like your...
It's fake news, Michael. Jesse signed it.
What flag is this? Is this Germany?
Yes. Sorry. We just wanted to make sure Jesse got his proper due.
That's
Keep
where
going.
the
Tell
G
us
in-
about the gnomes.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I'm ready.
no, this is a story about South American gnomes.
Okay.
In particular, known as duendes. Well, like every culture, the pervasive lore of small, mischievous, dwarf-like spirits leaks into ancient oral tradition. These beings have too many names to number. Actually, what I said here is these beings with names too numerous in number to narrow down.
Ooh.
Elves, fairies,
This is much fancier
gnomes,
than the ones where you
goblins.
write it and you can't read it. And
No,
you're like,
I
what
wrote
the fuck
it.
is that?
See, this time I wrote it and can read it.
Like I said,
Please and thank you.
move it up in the world.
But
Also, yeah, this is paranormal something for fellas with, I don't know.
man, Austin, you're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
You came up
Yeah,
with
that's rusty, man.
Yeah,
Holy
holy
shit.
Skeptical something.
skeptical blokes for 4 dudes and
Coke.
yeah,
A
that's
Four
skeptical wake for our paranormal past. I'm still on that Jesse died
Yeah.
train.
we'll get you. We'll get there.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Duende,
Yes,
Duende.
the duendes. The duendes have a
Dagobah.
startling a variety of different descriptions and temperaments ranging from across the continent. Some are said to live in high mountains. Others are said to live in the forests and valleys of Mexico, Belize, and Argentina. While the most common stories describe friendly, helpful forest dwellers that will make cozy residences inside of the walls of your house, more nefarious versions of the duendes also persist.
So there's like the friendly, hey, what's up, man? You want to spare a tablespoon of sugar? And then there's the, hey, I'm going to eat your toes.
Actually,
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was literally going to say, for instance, there is a common duende and another variety of duende called the Tata duende. And this can be easily distinguished by its lack of thumbs. That's literally what they call it. So, like, this Tata duende doesn't have thumbs.
Is that what the Simpsons are?
What?
They got 4
Tata
fingers.
They have
We don't know if
thumbs.
that's a thumb. It just looks like a thumb.
The Tata duendes.
From what I understand, there's like a whole different variety of them. Like there's always some theme to it. Like there's one that like is associated with a pig or rides a pig.
Yeah.
Or like a
I've seen
calling
that
card.
video of the monkey riding the pig. That's real cute.
No, it's not that one.
Oh.
Or what's the other one? It's like if a dog is following a pig, it's close by or something like that. Yeah, it's something weird like that. And then I think that specific one eats burned coal. Will eat like afterburn coal.
This just sounds like a Miyazaki
Austin, they
film
have
or
very specific MOs here.
Yeah, they do. And there's like some that like look like adult children, I guess.
And then there's the ones that look like angry, old, crotchety guys.
Yep.
And there's ones that are like creepy human. I don't know. There's a whole, on Wikipedia, there's like a whole list of like different, whatever their names is called and like a short description of them, and stuff. The ones from South America mostly. I think that Belize is the one that has the Tata Duendes, the ones without the thumbs. And then the regular old Duendes, which are just dwarves or ghosts or goblins or whatever they call them.
Gnomes.
All jokes aside, the Belizean mythos of the Tata Duende warns children of a squat, ugly, large-eared man with a pointy red cap and backwards feet who wanders the forest. If he asks to see your thumbs, run, because he's going to tear those bitches off. Like, straight off.
Like I said, they're pretty much Simpsons. So,
Duende happens to be the Spanish word for goblin, which, if anyone is listening and knows about the, goblins of Tolkien, those fuckers are no fun.
the goblins of Tolkien.
The two Tata Duendes. The Fellowship of the Duende.
I mean, that's basically what it is,
Return
right?
of the Duende.
That's what a hobbit is, in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's basically just like, actually, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. Middle Earth has been in South America this whole time.
Dude, Austin's drawing skills are on point. Let me just make that comment.
All from what I see from here, it's just a black squiggle.
No, man. It's got characteristics like I've never seen before.
It's just like, quick, we need the best Duende sketcher in all
In all of Central Colorado,
just
there's no one.
this one specific spot. But yeah, I was gonna say, because like, what's it? So it said that there was also some mention of duendes in Colombian culture, but
Yeah.
it didn't talk about. All it has is like Mexico, Argentina, and Belize are like the main shtick of where it's at.
From what I like kind of grew up and like my cousin explained to me is that like everybody, like not everybody, but a majority of people know certain rules about these things. Like
Yeah.
they're just like, oh yeah, like if you misplace your keys a lot, or if like stuff goes missing and then like shows up weeks later, that's usually like from, like a
Yeah.
duende just moving it around, messing with you. Cause like the main theme that they seem to kind of carry is like mischievous. in a
Yeah.
way. And there are some that are like more malicious, but for the most part, it's like playing tricks on people. And there's certain things I'm trying to remember, but I know there's like certain ways to like draw them out, or like that one that I mentioned with the pig. If he has a cane and if you can grab the cane or something like that, like you're either granted a wish or some gold.
Ooh, so like a leprechaun.
Kind of, yeah, in a sense. And if not, or if something goes wrong, I'm trying to remember all the specifics, but it could result in people like getting beaten and left there. And so like there's a lot of things that kind of associate with what happens.
Wow, it's interesting you talk about that, because I'll take you back. It's the early summer of 2011. Night has fallen on the city of Sancho Corral in Santiago del Estero, province of Argentina. For residents of Sancho Corral, it's just like any other evening. And for the 14-year-old boy walking home alone from a birthday party, nothing else seems out of the ordinary. As he takes his usual shortcut through the back lot of a local school him and his friends frequent, something moves out of the darkness. The boy feels quick blows to his face and head and falls to the ground as the flurries stop. The boy runs to find law enforcement and spins them a tale of what the people of Sancho Corral come to call El Enano, which means the dwarf.
Nice.
like El Non.
No, it's
El Nino?
El,
That's something else.
it's El
No, it's El
Enano.
Nino.
That means the dwarf, right?
Yeah, I've heard it by that term before.
Yeah, and that's the Spanish word for him. But then they'll call him like, this one El
So
Nano.
these things will
or-
do
They have
everything
names.
from
Yeah.
ride a pig and give you gold to randomly beat your ass in a school parking lot.
Well, they're all different from what I understand. Like it's like different like characteristics, or I don't even know if you want to say like a species.
Don't worry, man. I've gone through diversity training.
Because some of them are like supposed to be like, like happy-go-lucky unless you like step on their like rock or their favorite root, and then they'll fuck your day.
Can I plant a specific plant around my home that they don't like?
Oh, see, that's only that only works if you're a night marcher, I think.
I just wanted to check.
Call
That's
back.
been mildly common.
Call back to like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's how I understand it. Like, there's different, and I guess I'm unclear if it's like that one specific one is just one. It's not like a type or a group. It's just one doing it all, if that makes sense. Like, they're all duendes, but they're all like different ones with different like famous ones, if you will, or ones that make their presence known.
Yeah, or like if you have a demon with a name.
Exactly.
It's like the super bad demon.
Balthazar.
You were almost
Beelzebub.
the winner of a cat.
It's like, yeah, dude, you got the claw machine and you're hanging right over the edge, and then it just falls and it hits the edge of the little plastic bit and falls back into the... Yeah, so the police returned to the area where he was attacked and find no one else in that vicinity. Apparently, though, over the next several days, more stories similar to the boys comes flooding in. One child was attacked on his way to a neighbor's home nearby, and one resident was even blocked from a path he was riding his bike on by a small human-like creature with elf-like ears and a red pointy hat. Upon stopping the rider, the figure reportedly shouted, "You shall not pass through here," and then proceeded to bludgeon the man unconscious.
Oh.
So, yeah, the assaults got so numerous and violent in like a single month that the police were like forced to send in in a state of emergency.
A small person wearing random clothes is beating people up at night, and they're like, it's a gnome.
But dude, but it only apparently attacked either children or elderly people.
Yeah, it's not going to pick a fight.
It sounds like it is, man.
Yeah, dude, it did.
No, it's going to beat people up, not pick a fight. That's why it's kids and elderly.
Well, yeah, because he beat that one dude in like to a pulp, apparently. Basically, though, they got some, so they put in that state of emergency, and residents were warned not to venture out after dark alone. When asked about that, the town's priest didn't know what to think. He was quoted as saying that the creature must be a work of magic, and that he would only...
yes, the priest, my favorite crime scene investigator.
They know
right after Ice-T, I like to hear from the priest.
Listen, Austin. In the last year, I've done a lot of binging of Supernatural, so,
Gonna be... That's where I put it all, there.
Yeah, they know what they're talking about, If you want petty theft, you go to the police. But if you want Supernatural, you talk to the priest.
Dude, what has Supernatural ever gone against a Duende? Isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not that far. I'm like
Yeah,
I just finished season 6, so good show. All 15 seasons.
No
of
way in hell. I've watched 5 episodes from 2 seasons, and I'm plenty good.
I'll catch you up.
Austin just doesn't get good TV. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't watch Supernatural. The hell are you on about?
That's why it's funny.
Out of all of us, you're the least likely to watch Supernatural.
Because you're just...
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a documentary, right?
Austin would have to. He's just like, oh, look at that.
What was it, Warehouse 13 or whatever? That spin-off of Supernatural? That
haven't
was
gotten
so
there yet,
dumb. It was hilarious.
That's not even a spin-off.
Yeah.
Like, that's like its own show before
Is it?
Supernatural.
Really?
Dude, it was made on the Sci-Fi channel.
Yeah.
God.
Isn't that the one where like they just... It's like where they keep... It's the warehouse where they keep all the...
It's like the warehouse where Indiana Jones put the
Covenant.
Yeah.
It's like SCP, but in a fucking warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, no one was ever apprehended for the attacks, and so the Duende never...
away.
Yep, the Duende
This
never received
backward
justice.
feet beater got away.
He did.
Now, let's rewind. The year is 2008. A group of boys are having fun walking home along a road in their town of General Guernes in Salta province, Argentina. Suddenly, they hear a rustling from the side of the road, and all of a sudden, this appears. Let me just get this up.
Are you going to show us
I'm going to
and
show
picture?
you
Ooh,
and YouTube
yes.
video.
And YouTube video.
Perfect.
Which is even better because there's no camera, so everybody's going to be like, what the fuck? Don't worry, I'll put it up when it...
Yeah. Is this where we're just like, don't worry, there's a link in the description?
Yeah, link in the description. That's where. Link in bio.
I see a white screen.
Oh,
Am I in the VR again?
The Yub Tub's coming.
And this is the video.
Gnome terrorizes South American town. I love that text.
2008 video.
Hit me up with that
2008
Goosebumps
video.
strip.
So these are gonna
I've
be
seen this one. I've seen this.
All
these are
7 frames of it.
Yeah.
But apparently these kids are walking along the road, and then all of a sudden, this motherfucker pops out.
Oh, I may have seen this.
I've seen a lot of these videos. Look at that. That was perfect.
It ends with the gnome stinger, and that's good.
It ends with the gnome stinger. That's the whole video, is the gnome.
Did you watch it to the end?
Wow, he's just picking videos random, willy-nilly, just like this might be good.
Up to the fuck.
So that's also one thing that always seems to be different or doesn't line up all the time is like the actual height and size of them. From what I understood,
I thought you were going to say that no mythical creature has been caught on film since we passed the 140p mark.
No.
So the boy was quoted saying, "We were chatting about our last fishing trip. It was 1 a.m, and I began filming a bit with my mobile phone while others were chatting and joking. Suddenly we heard something, a weird noise as if someone was throwing stones. We looked to the side of the road, and we see the grass moving. To begin with, we thought it was a dog, and when we saw this gnome-like figure begin to emerge, we were really afraid. This is no joke. We are still afraid to go out, just like everyone in the neighborhood now. One of my friends was so scared after seeing this thing that we even had to take him to a hospital."
That's a little bit dramatic.
I think so.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Well, and now we're going to fast forward to 2014. Another video from
Unless
an
it
Argentinian
punched him in
home.
the kidney. I don't think he got scared enough to go to the hospital.
He came back for revenge.
And then he beat the gnome to unconsciousness. Is that like a weird, like...
Just in a street beating the shit
Yeah, like
out of a foot and a half tall man.
a cryptid? Yeah, like... It's just like, is
That
this
could be something else.
I was going to say, is this a hate crime
Yeah.
right now? Yeah, fast forward to 2014. Another video from an Argentinian home in Santa Fe surfaces online. This video was taken 3 years prior in 2011 of a toddler by his mother in their kitchen where a small humanoid creature ends up, you can see the running behind the boy as the camera turns. Now we're going to watch that video.
Could it have been and brother?
Nope. I don't know. You tell me, actually.
And fellow child?
Ooh.
Here we go.
I've seen this one too.
I haven't seen this one.
You're in for a treat.
Oh, really?
Scurried along, man.
Awesome. Why are you laughing? That's not very funny.
Because
It's very scary. I don't know. Is it? Yeah, is it going into slow-mo?
Look at that. Explain that to me, Austin. Explain that.
funny. Wait, don't zoom again more. I gotta see that in Zoom. To hit me with that enhance.
Enhance.
Oh, I can't see the
Otter
enhancement.
Oh, Otter. Here, we'll
No,
that.
that's good. Okay, wait. Here we go. Enhanced.
And
Oh my god.
Look at the ears, man.
It's so much more high def than the tile it's running on.
Look at the ears.
I like how you're like, it's so much more high def.
Everybody knows that gnomes, project at a higher definition than the average human.
Dude, they're running at
Than
like
the
80,
average terracotta tile.
80, 90 FPS. on the
Terracotta
average.
tiles only reflect so much light, so they don't show up as well on camera.
What is it, like
Exactly.
100
While gnomes reflect double the light a normal human does.
It's 8K resolution for you.
frick.
I'm seeing the pores on the gnome behind this blurry baby.
Exactly.
This is where
The first one was more believable, and it ended with a picture of a gnome with red eyes.
That wasn't part of the video, man.
I know, but that's how the video ended, and it opened with goosebumps.
Now, this is one of my favorite videos, though. So this one is kind of a super creepy one.
This is just like a
nostalgic
feel for me, you know?
It is. I actually agree because this is the same sort of thing that it would be like, I'm like creepy creatures in the middle, you know, and then it would be like, yeah, I'd look at that at like back in 2012 and it'd just be like 8 videos of like really shitty quality. And I'm like, when did this come out? You know?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I feel like it's just, you know, you're in a Southern American country and their technology is just like, yeah. Like, they're barely getting the iPhone 6, from what I understand.
It's
That's
really
okay.
Is that what you're, like, talking to your cousins? They're just like, yeah, man, I don't know, but you guys have the 12 out there? What?
Yeah, what is this sorcery, you know? They're on PS2, and, you know, we're over here.
Well, it's just like Mexico was still manufacturing the original Bug until, like, what, 2005 or something?
The Bug?
The Beetle, like the original Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, see, I was like, the Bug? Is
Yeah.
the
They were
PlayStation?
manufacturing those brand new.
But isn't that because they would just ship them over to Cuba, and it was like a huge culture in the, like...
I mean, they'd also sell them.
Yeah, dude, Cubans love bugs.
They do. I saw a show on it. I think it's canceled now, which is sad.
Cars and Cubans.
Q-Bugs?
It was like about how they like spent their whole lives just and their savings into putting money into this like old like hot rod-ish kind of like, and they were usually bugs, and they would like use like a boat's engine for the car.
I mean, I guess it's like it's an island nation. What am I laughing about?
Wow, Patrick.
It's all they had.
Yeah, Patrick's just like, what fools.
That is a
Yeah.
They
That
used
is
a
a
boat
boat?
engine.
Yeah. What are they eating?
Yeah.
Bread?
Yeah, what are you trying to do, man? What are you going to do? Put those tires on that boat? Put those wings on that canoe over there? Makes a Cessna plane. Like,
Just
fuck
makes
you.
a Cessna seaplane.
Yep. So anyway, this is a real life goblin caught on tape in Mexico.
I'll get these crystals powered up, just in case.
All right, you ready?
Scary nature. That's my kind of channel.
Yep, I've seen this one too.
Oh, I think they saw it.
He was there the whole time, Austin.
Wait. You can't turn it until it's done doing the pause and high deafen.
Sorry, I'll have to get me another screen so I can just...
If you could just set up another one up
Dude,
here.
I need to do... Yeah, like put a fucking big ass like computer right there.
Yeah.
And then just like somehow snake a HDMI under the table.
I think you can just like wirelessly project them on
yeah,
now.
yeah. Oh.
It's 2021, man.
Whoa, I can't... You mean I don't need a fucking cord anymore?
Why is it casting a shadow forward, not on the same wall as the shadow?
Austin,
Oh,
this
you're
is
just some forensic expert now?
video
just like-
forensics.
It's a question. You think it's a shadow the whole time because there are shadows cast on that wall, and then it moves and it shadows in front of it.
He is the shadow.
Yeah, dude, you see that they
Yeah,
can...
but there's other things on that wall still casting.
Oh, yeah, it was one of those, the Baba Duende who can just
Is that like Baba
materialize
Yaga's cousin?
in and out of physical stuff.
The quantum duende.
Yep.
Supernatural, if you will.
Yeah, dude. The red one can do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
The green one's really slippery.
Are we talking about?
It's probably because of their habitat.
The blue
Lantern
one
Corps
can run
now,
faster
or-
at night.
Yeah, everybody knows that. That's
Duh.
common sense.
Well, the first 2 videos shown, unfortunately, were later found to be hoaxes, quote unquote. However, this last video I showed you has no context or anything and has not been proven that it is fake or not.
Perfect.
So I still
We got
think
2 duds, but nobody's made sure this one's fake.
Hey, dude.
Wait, haven't we watched 3 though?
Yeah, it's
The
like
first
that
2.
one.
What about
Yeah.
the third one?
The third one, nobody. Yeah, that hasn't been. Nothing's been said about that one.
That one's an old one. I
No,
saw that one.
also nobody figured out who was beating people in Sucho Corral.
Just like the Zodiac Killer.
So you're saying the Zodiac Killer
Was
is
a gnome. Yes. I'm glad you caught on.
I've done a little forensic science myself, Austin.
We've been looking for a full-size man this whole time.
We just never figured if
I
he
never
kneeled.
thought it'd be a tiny man.
Yeah, if he put his shoes on his knees and walked around.
Looks like we've been on the short path.
It's just rips glasses.
Yeah, I like how you took your glasses off for that.
Well, what do we think, boys?
Oh, is that it? Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
really it.
There's some other videos out there. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the footage is so grainy on some of them.
I think that the earliest video was the second one. That was apparently shot in 2011 and then released in 2014.
See, I thought it was the last one.
Yeah, that was the fake one.
No,
Or
that was the first one, the earliest one.
the earliest one. That one I think might be.
Yeah.
That probably is.
So this creature that's been in folklore for ages managed to avoid being photographed or filmed
well, not really.
for
As you see, we saw
many,
three
many,
videos.
for many years until they
Well,
started
before photographs
deciding
exist.
to bother drunk dudes walking at night, sneak behind a baby,
No drunk.
and
what?
hide behind a child playing with a ball.
Okay, but I don't think that's the case because I think they've had them there like for the whole culture, and it was like people would talk about them, right? And then everybody would know about them, and then all of a sudden you have like technology, and obviously it's older technology that they have, right? And so they start getting all these like videos.
Yeah, in 2008, the cameras.
You know
were
what
shitty.
came before 2008 cameras?
What?
Every other kind of camera.
But you're also okay. Also, where this is taking place in like Argentina or Belize.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you see these
Colombia.
houses.
They're
and
on the
not-
Yeah, what's
PlayStation
the-
2.
what's
They've
the
been on
GD?
the Minolta 25 for ages.
I was gonna say, what's the GDP of Colombia? Like, let's just.
I mean, if you include the drugs.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, like at the same, it doesn't mean that they're all getting fancy technology, you know?
Yeah, but it means that if the people who have both a camera and a TV may have seen a gnome before.
I mean, think about it though. It's like Esmeralda's not going to go out there and get the iPhone 11 and be like, "Look, I got the gnome that was been living in my house."
Exactly.
I mean, you don't know what an Esmeralda written in 2011 might have done.
Hey, dude, you never know. I'm just saying. Esmeralda 2021 might be able to catch. You never know, man. That last video is kind of creepy, wasn't it? It's really, really tiny, like super small.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Compared to like your research concluded that the first two were hoaxes for sure. The one gnome that could have been a small child for sure, but then the ones that are like almost the size of a hand is like a little more like, well, that's that, and I think that's the more common height or like size of it.
The ones that are like
Yeah, like
16 to 18 inches.
yeah. You're
Have you seen the one? There's one where it's like it's weird. It's like a kitchen. It's like a shot of like
Yep.
a kitchen, and then it's just like it runs across, and it looks like a person. Like I swear to God.
Is it the one where he's like kind of kneeling and he looks back and forth, left and right?
No, the one
Okay.
I was looking at was like literally. It was like it just takes off running across like a stretch of kitchen. It just looks really realistic.
And so that's kind of the thing, you know, like I get that it's possible to make these videos in some, you know, editing software, but like the footage is so grainy already. And it has like in some of those videos, especially that last one, the characteristics that it has are very like human-like. Like it's like actually you can see it running or it has distinct features to
But
it.
see, that implies more problems.
How so?
Where are these things living? Why do they have clothes? If they have clothes, don't they have enough culture to
hey.
gather
All right, I'm
thread,
gonna show you.
etc.?
Here's another one. I don't know anything about this one, but this is the one I think I was talking about.
They would have to have up to textiles in human evolution.
Oh, I've seen this one. This
Yeah.
one's pretty terrible.
Is this one terrible?
Yeah, I think Austin's gonna laugh though.
Is it terrible? I haven't.
It's a Jawa costume.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah,
Really?
that one's clearly a kid running across. There's better ones out there.
What?
But like that implies that there is
Oh,
an
yeah,
entire
okay.
some degree of society has to exist if these things are
Right.
running around in clothes.
Okay, so see, that's the thing. Like, what if it's like an underground kind of like they live in the walls, they live in the forest,
Well,
they live in
yeah.
like like the same way that maybe like rats or like a colon, I maybe not bugs, but like just rats are
You
in
ever
houses.
never seen a rat's nest until
Yeah,
the
but-
rats have died and gone, and then you find it in the wall?
Right.
But if you have a humanoid, a little tiny humanoid,
Right.
it would be
Yeah,
the
why
same.
aren't I finding tiny dinner tables and
Well, maybe they.
leftover McDonald's?
Well,
How are
okay.
you, wait, oh, because he's gonna go to a.
Yeah. They're all gonna get in a large trench coat, stack up to get a.
They just need one big friend.
Yeah, dude,
man.
it's like you look like 7 little people inside of one big tall person.
Exactly. Well, and the thing that's like, I don't know,
If
maybe
they're hand sized, they'll just be a kid.
I guess I didn't think about that. The one thing that gets me though is kind of that it seems like it's region specific. It's not like something that's like this is all over the world. It's like Latin American countries, and then don't they have? I don't even remember if it's elves or what, but like in Iceland where they have.
The fairy circles and
No, it's not the
little
fairies.
elf circle.
Yeah,
thing.
there's. I know there was an
The
incident.
fairy circles are the names for the mushroom formation, but like
Okay.
they think that's related to elves, and you can go to that one pseudo college and get an elf spotting degree or
Wow.
whatever.
Oh, in Sweden or
Or Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing we're gonna be talking about because that's something that I can just be like, hey, Iceland.
Well, and don't they doesn't the government itself
Yeah.
close down roads and stuff like that? So
you
like
can't
they
build.
acknowledge it.
There's
Yeah,
building permits because of gnomes.
exactly. So that's what makes me kind of think that
Austin, those are white people who are freaked out about it. Those are white people freaked out.
wow, a zinger.
Those are cold people.
Those are called white people.
Isn't Iceland the green one? And Greenland's the ice
the icy
one?
one? Yeah. It's a little dude. That's like that's the old.
It's
just
still
like,
cold,
dude. Somebody
It ain't
just
like it's.
You're like, guys, we're going to
summertime.
Greenland. They told those sons of bitches.
How long did that lie persist?
Yeah, right. They're just like, man. It's just like they just keep going and dying.
And dying.
I'm convinced that somebody mixed them up in an atlas, and they're just like, that's the way it is now.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay, but so right now we're saying there are tiny gnome people
Okay.
that have managed to hide the entirety of their society from us forever, but live amongst us.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, do they actually have a society? They seem very lone.
If they have
wolfy.
clothes,
I would think they do have
they're
a
going to
society,
need
but
textiles. They're going to be needing to either raise or murder their own livestock in some way.
Well, I
so
mean,
maybe
what if
there's
they-
some gnome sheep out there providing wool.
I doubt.
I
okay.
feel like they're
Yeah.
they're
That's a
stealing
joke.
like bread from the bread closet.
Right. And I think it's possible. I don't think if we were to say this is some kind of creature or even in like an animal.
Like a human. Oh, how about like a offshoot of human, like a
right.
Pygmy?
Because like when you talk about fairies or goblins, then you have to then you're like, oh, we're talking in
We're
the
not
world
rolling for attack.
of of like European
Right.
or like folklore fiction type of stuff. You're like, okay, then we classify you as a gnome. Or what if it's just like a little humanoid and they've just been able to persist by living in the small nooks and crannies of people's homes. I don't know much about like the architecture of South America, but I bet that there's a lot of like nooks and crannies you can probably
Right.
get into, and like
It's rural.
forests and barns and
Right.
wood piles.
I still think there's too much evidence that would be left behind by any sort of humanoid organism living that close to people.
But don't you think that at the same time they would cover their tracks if they have that degree of like movability, and if they're producing clothes, and if they're they're mischievous and they have some sort of intelligence behind them.
Yeah, because
So for however long this has persisted, they have never screwed up. Nary has a gnome left a urinal behind after a settlement is built and dismembered.
well, I feel like
Nary has a tiny dropping been forgotten. Always bury your shit in the woods.
But that's the thing. Like people have talked about it, and they tell these stories, and like themselves, they believe it. Like it's something that they like know and respect in a way, right? So that it's not like they're going around being like that. Like look,
Oh yeah, you don't have one in a fucking jar, and you're like, I caught one.
It's
They
like
finally caught it.
maybe the equivalent of like some South American country being like, oh, what's the deal with Bigfoot in America and why is it all over the place?
I mean, I'm like
And that's,
that. So.
but see, that's the
Right.
but that's the thing though, is that like
if
where
we're
Michael,
applying that, I'm still
Or-
on the same page here.
but where Michael was like, because okay, so every culture has like, because it's always there's twofold too, because like cultures have one of those like, there's the big hairy man in the woods, and then there's always the little people of the forest or something like that, whether it be stick Indians or it's Pugwudgies or it's some, every single culture has something of that form, and I'm like, what if all it is just like it's like two different, because like people think that the Bigfoot has been around humans long enough to realize that it doesn't want to interact with us, and it's like, oh, there's precautions and like evolutionary things that it's like, I'm going to hide my tracks, I'm going to bury my dead, I'm going to make sure that I have lookouts on certain paths where humans are known to be, because they're like, if they find us, they will kill us. I don't know. I'm just thinking evolutionary.
I've seen people say that argument, and I think it's hard to believe that any humanoid, like everybody screws up all the time. Some Bigfoot has been like, I guess I won't bury Jerry 25 feet deep like normal.
Yeah.
And Jerry has washed up and ended on the road, but we haven't had that,
Well,
But okay, I mean, like, I guess the thing is, like, for some of these encounters, it's not like it's happening in big cities where they're just like, hey, we decided to move office building and we found some gnome graveyard. Let's tell the world about it. Like, I think that people they live on like farms and they like respect it.
was that Mike?
Yeah.
I thought we got sound effects all of a sudden.
I was about to say.
I'm just like, what? Excuse me while I go.
We'll discuss the gnomes.
Okay, so that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, how do you know that it's not like people see it but they respect it, like in a way you would respect like a religious kind of belief, or kind of be like, oh yeah, you don't want to like summon demons because of my religious belief that we could be possessed or we could bring bad energy towards us.
So, like, I get that.
Right.
But also, no.
But okay.
I'm like, the belief in it doesn't assure the presence of it.
But it's like, okay, like tribes, they're very private about stuff. They don't go around sharing all this information. And, I'm talking about just basic information about their tribe, not anything on a supernatural
I'm
level.
not saying I need to know what Bigfoot likes to eat on Sundays or what the gnome's trying to do on a Tuesday when they don't have work. I'm trying to say they don't exist.
I get that. But also, Austin hasn't been around the world to investigate it long enough. Like, you haven't been in that environment, I don't think,
Have you been in that environment to validate it?
I've been in like, because I've been to Colombia, and I've seen how they live. Where I'm like, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Like, houses aren't like this, where they're like,
Yeah.
you have neighbors. So there's
all the
enough.
more reason that it could be anything but a tiny person.
I guess.
You're
I mean,
out
like,
in the woods. There's hundreds and hundreds of random animals that could wander into a home.
right, exactly. So it's like a mouse or something, like having, a mouse in your house.
You could get
common.
small apes.
I also wonder what the deal is, though, is like, even though, so let's just say that, it is all figment of imagination or just like wishful thinking, or I don't even know, though, because at some point you'd probably be like, do you want to believe in
It's a cultural
little man?
preconception.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you're
it's
raised,
but it's a cultural,
and your culture supports that it does exist.
but there's like, it's weird too, though, because it's, and I'm not saying that it's like
I mean,
everywhere.
I
but
thought
it's like,
Santa was real
there's-
for quite some time.
Yeah, but okay, but they believe it in the Philippines, not of the Duendes, and stuff, but like, little people in the like in there, or in the North American shit, or they have like the Pugwudgies and stuff. I'm just like, what is it that makes? Where do we get that mass hallucination, so to speak, or that
Acts that we think are too human to have been done by an animal that we didn't see happen? That's my thought.
Yeah.
How did I
Awesome.
not notice this?
But-
But this ended up here.
Well, I'll tell you what. The stupid elves that keep coming out of my cupboard. Dude.
Exactly.
Where the fuck does my keys go?
Right.
I didn't put them in the fridge.
It's trying to find an explanation for things that don't seem feasible the way you think of it, but stuff happens in weird ways all the time while you're doing, general life.
Well, and
Who's
I
to say
get
something
that.
weird couldn't come through, interact with something, and have it end up looking like a human interaction? Something ends up like, only these colored socks have been stolen or something like that. And in reality, you had some loafing animal come in and go, that gray color looks better than the other gray colors for chewing on, and then stole some of your, that color thing. Like, it's not, I feel like there's,
Mutually
you
exclusive?
can equivalently support a ton of different animals having caused whatever the thing is. But there isn't that background of support for there being a society of tiny people.
I'm still not convinced there's a society. I think that they're all just lone wolves who just know how to knit clothes and
How do they make it a babe?
A debate?
magic.
Make it the baby.
I mean, everything in nature breeds.
Yeah, but he's saying they're lone wolves, like they're just
Well, I
these
mean, like-
incredibly
Even lone-
rare
yeah, like
cryptids
even,
that never show
A black
up
widow
places.
is
Yeah,
a black widow is
or
until it mates.
Or a badger? Or Wolverine, maybe? What are they? Animals that definitely fuck, but also get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, there's definitely it's instinctual in every creature to want to procreate.
Survival. Or maybe they are
Then
magic.
why are they chilling
maybe
out
they
next
are
to
magic and they're
kids
just
playing
snap
soccer?
their fingers.
And see, that's the thing. What if it is just this like species of humanoid that existed at one time and was either like hunted or whatever for, its small stature, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're very limited and we're small, and that's why we're regio
Where's
specific.
the record of that in South American culture?
Regio?
Of the
Regional.
the genocide of the tinies.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I'm just saying,
Where's that tablet telling us about when we killed all the tiny people and forced them into the woods?
Who knows, man?
Dude,
Doesn't mean they would all keep it. Like, does that mean that every culture has kept some sort of record?
Well, we would have never found out because the Library of Alexandria got burned. And
The Library
all
of
the
Exile
stories
that didn't
of all
have
the
too terribly
Duendes.
much of. Is there a lot of South American lore in the
Well, hey, but
Library
there's a
of
lot
Alexandria?
of... Hey, the point is that these little things
never know.
apparently persist
No.
everywhere. Duendes are just what they call them in South America, as far as I've read.
Well, I'm gonna say, I know there are a lot of small things, and they're worm pygmy races. 10,000 years ago.
You're a pygmy racist.
I mean,
Nice.
I'm sure that term will get me canceled nowadays. What is it? Diminutive mammalian humanoid? How do you say? What do you say?
Oh, wow, that's really...
We're talking about duendes here. That's
Yeah,
that's
but-
the word you're looking for.
That's what that's... If you contract all those words together, it...
Yeah, there you go.
Duende.
Well, boys, I'm going to have to go away from this saying I don't think there are tiny people. But if there are, I can't wait for that future world where I'm parked alongside like a 4-foot-long Mustang.
I was going to say, how long... Yeah, when do they, like, what's their...
Waving at my neighbor,
What
Mr.
type of-
Smith, and
what-
he
Okay, but
waddles into his
How do you know
tiny
that
little-
humans wouldn't be hostile towards something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
If they can make...
Well, we
if
most
they're
certainly are.
pseudo-sentient, I'm sure somebody somewhere would be nice to him.
yeah,
Who
somewhere,
knows about
but
the people who have, like, all of their motives already color-coded?
I'm just saying, like, the majority of people would.
Why
be
do you
like,
have
"What
5
is that?"
fingers? You can't be the duende I thought you were. You liar. And he's just like, what? Also, how do they know it has 4 fingers if they haven't found
It doesn't
and
have,
held one?
It doesn't have thumbs.
How do you know?
That's how they
Okay.
determine that Tata Duende does not have thumbs, and that's why he
It's
bites.
like it's something that stands out. That's just like, hey, I noticed there's no thumb there.
Can you give me a description of the subject?
Also, I think
well,
it's-
officer, he was about a hand tall. He had a red hat and no thumbs.
Yep,
and
and
he
then
beat me up in a school parking lot.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened, actually. That's exactly what the guy said. Like, you just took it word for word.
And then they put him in the drunk tank and said, "Sober up, you loser."
For all we know, Austin maybe just has a collection of small duendes locked in a cage at home. That he's
I've
just,
got it.
Yeah,
in
it's
Thai.
just, he goes in there and he, like, prods them with like a little
Yeah.
stick.
Like a collection of Fraggle Rock figurines. I just have them filled with foam and stuffed on my wall.
Yeah, just
A
like,
lot of
man,
tiny
That's
pieces.
some serial killer shit.
yeah, dude. It's like, these are some really lifelike looking
Replicas,
dolls.
yeah.
And you're just like, little do you know I murder them and stuff them.
Did you know it's not illegal to hunt duende?
I guess.
I mean,
Yeah, you're like, if nobody believes they exist, then this isn't really a genocide.
exactly.
No wonder they don't fuck with people.
Exactly.
Dude, that's the thing. If somebody was like, I found a small man and he exists, and they could show me, I'd be like, oh shit, we got to communicate with the little man. Let's get it done. Let's cross this boundary, this gap. Let's see what little fella has to say. But nobody's had that moment.
I don't think anybody would.
Nor has anybody been like, look, I bagged a little guy.
Okay, and to be fair, like, to kind of side with Austin and some stuff, a lot of the stories that they tell about them have this, like, kind of pretext of, like, you know, I'm telling this to my child so they don't act bad. Like, the pretext is you act
It's a
bad.
boogeyman.
Right, in a sense. And I get that, and, like, maybe some of the stories are exaggerated, but I'm not saying to the extent of, like, oh, there's one that has no thumbs, or there's one that rides a pig around. Those are just kind of like flavors that they gave to him, you know, stories.
I like the flavor. Yeah, dude,
Well-
this is the pig flavored one.
Yeah. Right.
Can I get my duende with bacon?
Yeah.
Exactly. McDonald's serving up duendes.
Yeah, dude. Chipotle duende.
Yeah.
Chipotle
Wrapped up in a
duende.
burrito fits perfectly.
A la carte. I don't know.
Yeah, could I get gnome on mine?
On the side, really.
Are you saying you want no?
Oh, no, extra gnome, please, with guac.
How would you...
How would you prepare your
No,
duende?
I was going to say, like, how would you, like,
With garlic
abbreviate
butter.
that on a front room ticket?
GN.
GNOM. Oh, God, dude. I hate when they ask me to do the gnome, go under there, pull out a fucking thing.
Pull out a small person, start
Yeah.
chopping them up.
Wait, is this no gnome or no GMOs?
GMO.
I don't know if we have old-fashioned kosher bread right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I want no GMOs, but yes gnomes.
Yes, the gnome, none of the... Well, and...
Let's just start cooking eat all of the paranormal.
Yeah, dude, that's the only way to kill it. Like, dude, you're just, like, scared of it. You're like, well, I gotta eat all these ghosts.
Paranormally eating tasty atrocities. PETA.
That's the next podcast we should do.
How do you think a Bigfoot would taste if we sautéed it?
How to properly
Beef
prepare
jerky.
it. Yeah, how to properly prepare a ghost.
That's why the whole beef jerky commercials happen.
We could do.
Oh,
we
dude,
could-
searching for watch.
Yeah. Exactly, man.
They're just like, there's not enough steers here to make really good, fine meat.
Which is why we have this turncoat Sasquatch who's been leading us to the real meats. He shouts at all these white people in trucks, and they eat Slim Jims, and we catch his kind.
It's like Soylent Green, man.
It is fur people.
It is